Go. So how about Jelena? In the meantime, the rest of us will mute. And why don't you decide, should we flip a coin to see if we're going to start with Kevin or Terry? Why don't we start with Terry? It's best if you just start. Just get it over with. Boom, you're on. The rest of us are going to mute. And
My vote counts most.
objection once.
Kevin.
Enough.
All right, let's go.
Speak, woman. You're good. You know what to say.
All right, then.
Okay. So, Terry, the problem I'm having is that I really need to sell my house before I buy a new one. I'm afraid that, I need to find a house before I sell my house. I'm afraid that once I sell, I'm not going to be able to find something. There are no listings out there. I think I should just wait.
Jelena, I totally understand what you're saying. And because that's the sentiment across the board for a lot.
Oh, no.
Jelena, can I share something with you?
Yes, please do.
Okay. I just want to let you know right now, we know it's a seller's market, right?
Mhm.
So we want to be able to take advantage of this market to get you top dollar. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so there's a couple options that we can do in this case, because there are people who are going, wow, what if I sell my home fast? Because we're seeing a quick market. So if we sell your home fast, there's a couple things we can put into play here, okay? Now, did you know, are you aware that we can put in a contingency that the sale of your home is contingent upon you finding another home?
So if I don't find anything, I can cancel the sale.
Absolutely. You'd be more in the driver's seat. I want to put you in the driver's seat as much as possible. So here's the flip side of how we're going to put you in the driver's seat. And this is huge. When you go on the buy side, you're going to be a non-contingent buyer. So when we sell your home for top dollar, would you prefer to have a buyer who is non-contingent or one that still needs to sell their home before purchasing your home? Which one are you going to go with? Probably
A non-contingent offer.
Okay. That's how we want to position you in the market when we go to look for a home. We want you to be able to have the strongest offer possible so that you are able to go in and be almost ensured of getting the home of your dreams. Doesn't that sound great?
That does. All right, I'm
Absolutely.
breaking script because we're over time.
Okay, good.
Okay, do you guys have any feedback for Terry?
Number one, I want to say thank you because that was actually amazing. I think that if no one's seen scripting before, there were a lot of tie downs that you did. And you don't even know it. Like you have made that script your own and have done a really, really nice job on it.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
It really felt like you had the client's best interest at heart. I really
Okay,
believe.
so I'm gonna do one thing because no one else is speaking. So I will say there's one place or room for improvement, right? And it's difficult on Zoom, but I think that we're doing a lot of things via Zoom. The mirroring and matching of energy, right? So Jelena was very laid back. She was very like, okay, so is that what you're telling me, right? And you are just a very energetic person, right? So if this was a real scenario and I, someone kind of brought this energy that she may or may not have, we have to be cautious of that. Because we want to be able to see what her tonality is and what her energy level is, and then bring that down, which is going to be a difficult thing, I think, Terry, because you are high energy, right? And so if someone is lower energy, let's just make sure to think about, okay, deep breath. I might need to slow this down almost to the point where you think it's too slow. It's probably not.
Right.
So that is a place where I think, as you watch this, you just have to kind of, gauge, okay, what is my seller, what is the buyer telling me?
No, that is huge. And I have to constantly have that reminder. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Awesome.
Perfect.
All right, Kevin, you're up.
All right. So Kevin, I understand what you're saying, but we've been looking, we can't find any other houses. I'm terrified to sell my house before we find a new one. We want to buy first.
Yeah, I can totally appreciate that, Jelena. So remind me, why do you want to move?
We're just ready to downsize. The kids are gone and it's time to move into something smaller.
Fantastic. And I would know all these things, so I got to break script this a little bit, but I'm going to ask you questions about where that is. And where are we looking?
In the same area.
Yeah. And I know when we talked about it, I know, Jelena, you wanted to be able to be in that spot and grounded before summer. Is that right?
It would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Hey, can I share with you two options that I'm doing with my sellers to make sure that we're in line both and they get the most money for their home, and also we're able to get them to where they want to be in a timeline that matters for them?
Sure.
Perfect. The strategy number one we're going with is we're doing all the prep work. So we're taking the pictures, we're getting everything ready to go, so that once we do get that accepted on that offer on the home that you want, that's going to be the right place for your family here before the end of before the end of spring. Once we find that place, we write the offer, we get it accepted, we go in strong, and immediately we put your home on the market. And what it does when we do that, it just changes some things on the contingent side. The other strategy that a number of my clients have done is we get your home sold. We know right now the market is really, really good and can really help you get the top dollar for your home. And that's what you want, right?
Yep.
So the strategy that's been really successful for a number of my clients is we get your home all ready to go, and it will probably sell pretty quickly in this market. In the meantime, along with doing that, whenever there's a showing in your house and everything, we're just going to go out and look at other places for your next place to live. And once we receive those offers back, we'll just make sure that they're contingent upon you finding where you want to be for your perfect home coming up here in the end of spring. Of those two options, which ones sound better to you?
Well, I don't want to be homeless. So I guess contingent on, the sale of our home.
Perfect. So I can be over at 3 o'clock today or 2 tomorrow. Which one's better for you so that we can get started and get your home sold and you to your new spot?
Let's do today.
Perfect. I'll see you at 3 o'clock.
Perfect. Great job, Kevin. You set the appointment.
I think it's just a real thing, right? And people don't know what their options are.
I personally like the fact that you get them completely ready to go, because that creates energy. And once they take pictures and once they already start getting ready to show their house, they're not interested in doing that again. So it kind of pushes them to that spot.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Well,
Okay.
I think also you gave them options and then you reaffirmed that's what you want, right? You know what I mean? Where it wasn't an assumption, it was more of, it was, but it wasn't. It was assumptive close, and they already told you that, which just kind of teaches them how to respond to you. Like when you say something, so then when it does come to the point of, okay, now you're at the appointment and you're ready for signatures, now they're just so much easier to flow with whatever you're saying.
The thing that's most strategic about that, other than just how you talk, is we can do this way or that way. Which one do you like? And if they choose either of those options, it's good, right? So we're going to go live right now or we're going to wait. But both of those are a score and take action right now.
Right. Perfect. All right, Shane, you ready?
Awesome. Shane, are you on deck?
I'm here. I don't know how to work my video. It says
Shane. Shane.
I'm such an idiot.
We've been in this for about 11 months, man.
Dude, honestly, I have had one Zoom appointment with the client. Everything else is in person.
Nice
So
job.
I don't know. I just,
You know what? I don't feel bad about you not showing up at the team meetings now because you don't even know how to get on the thing.
Well, I'm actually on my laptop. I know how to work it in my office, but Tony's in there making phone calls, so I can't. I got my laptop. I've never done it on my laptop. So I know how to do this.
Okay, just do it without your video and we'll just listen to your,
Pretend it's a phone call where they can't really see anyway.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a shame because I feel like I look great today.
Take a selfie
right.
and post it, Shane.
Go, Jelena.
Okay. So here's the thing, Shane, is we really want to buy a house, but we need to sell our house. I'm sorry, we really need to find a house before we sell. I'm afraid that there's nothing on the market and we're not going to find something, and I don't want to be without a home.
Okay, so backing up, you want to find the next home before you sell your current home.
Right.
Is that correct? And so I guess I have a quick question for you. From a financial standpoint, can you buy without selling?
No, we'll need to use that money.
Okay, so you need the cash from that house in order to find the next one. And what exactly are you looking for, Jelena?
Something smaller than what we have now. We're just going to downsize, same area. We've been looking and we can't find it.
Okay. Normally I'd go super specific with this, but to bore you guys, I'd get very specific on the type of house you want. And as you've been looking, I guess, how long have you been looking to move, Jelena?
We've been thinking about it for a year, probably 6 months, seriously.
Okay. And have you seen any homes hit the market that have been a good fit for you?
One, and we missed our opportunity.
So you saw one home in a year that was a good fit for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess what locations are you considering? Do you have a large location or is it very specific?
It's pretty specific, but we're willing to travel a little bit. So, I mean, we've been kind of looking all around.
Okay. So I think that's a conversation we need to continue to have is saying, okay, what are you looking for specifically and what's important to you about that? And then what I'm going to do is do some research for you and see how many homes like that have sold in the last 2-3 years. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to lead you down a rabbit hole here. I want to find that what you're looking for is possible, number one. And if it's not, and we still want to downsize and make some changes, okay, where does that home exist? And what does it look like? What's the turnover ratio there? How long does it take for a home to come on the market like it? Because when you have a home to sell, and a very specific home comes on the market, if you write an offer contingent on the sale of your home, it'd be very, very difficult to get it. What are your thoughts on, I guess, selling before you find that next one? What's stopping you from doing that? What's that?
We're not going to move twice.
Okay. And what's the primary reason behind that?
It's just, I mean, it's more expensive. It's a hassle. It's not of interest.
Okay. And what's important to you about moving, Jelena?
It's just kind of we're looking to downsize, and we're looking for the perfect property where we can spend the rest of our time at.
Okay. Well, what I think we need to do is get together and really strategize on how we find this next property. That's going to be the biggest challenge. I think there's some other ways we can mitigate the contingent offer situation as far as, I just did it last week where we have your home in the back pocket. Being the seller's market it is, we come across a ton of buyers who might be perfect for your home and are willing to wait for it. So if we found a buyer while you're out there searching, while we're hunting, who's willing to wait 6 months for your house, and would that be something that interests you at all?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, why don't we meet tomorrow? I've got some time between 2 and 4. And we can really go over what this looks like. And I'm excited to see your house.
Great.
Okay. Perfect. See you then.
Any feedback for Shane?
Okay, so Shane, will you help me find a house?
Are you looking?
I might be, if you'll be my agent.
Yeah.
No, seriously. What I love, you just kept coming back to motivation to the
Yeah.
point where she was talking to herself
Sure.
to do it. I love that. Yeah, super good.
Well, we've all been doing this long enough where I've worked with some clients for 4 years because they're unrealistic, and you have to, maybe you don't want this person, or maybe you just need to help them self-discover in a really honest sort of way. And people appreciate that. I know people are scared that they're going to offend people or you ask a tough question, but I'd rather know now that, okay, these people are unmotivated or unrealistic, and try to help them get to a more realistic spot or just write them off altogether than, do all this work and still 4 years later end up with somebody who, so, hey, did you find me that lot in Wayzata for 150,000?
Mhm.
So
Jane, do you, I think one of the things I appreciated what you did is it almost, you recognize that, hey, there is a reason to, this is going to be challenging, right? And so you acknowledge that and almost made it more challenging for her to do it without you, but there was a solution to it. My question is, do you ever find, have you caught yourself going, I wish I would have, and in this one you got the appointment, but I wish I would have not written that off so quickly and maybe talked to both spouses to see really where they're at?
yeah, most people, if they're not motivated, when you ask them to meet, they won't say yes.
Right.
So you go through that process, and however perfect your script is, if they're not motivated, they won't meet with you. But yeah, I mean, obviously these are scripting, so we play it, but usually that would have been a half an hour phone call, of gathering more information on what they're looking for and trying to figure out, okay, are they realistic? What's their situation? What is their motivation for downsizing? Is it just less space? Is it somebody's injured? Or is it, whatever the reason? I want to get specific. Like whenever someone says they're downsizing, I don't come out right and say why, but because everybody says they're downsizing, then all of a sudden they end up in a 3,500 square foot, 1-story new construction home. And it's like, okay, what are you downsizing from? Is it, so there's a bunch of different ways you can take that.
And you like to do that on the phone rather than get the appointment into it first?
As soon as you just have to sort of rely on your instincts as far as when I close for an appointment. If I feel like they're not quite there yet or they're pushing back, I'll continue to ask a couple questions. And but if they're right out of the gates, you can just get a sense, right? I mean, we're all people. We just know how to use our instincts that way. So yeah, depends on the situation.
Okay, perfect. Let's move on to the next one. Terry, you ready?
I think so. That's all relative.
Okay. Terry, the market is so hot right now. I'm just going to try and sell it myself.
Oh, okay. So tell me more about that. What are you going to be doing?
I might hire somebody to put it on the MLS, but I think that in my price range, I won't have any issues just getting a buyer.
Okay. So are you aware of what, if you did have someone just put it up on the MLS, do you realize what their services will entail?
I think it's just data entry, but I don't know.
Okay, okay. Well, one of the things in this market, it's true, it is a seller's market. There are also a lot of things that are assumed when people sell on their own. Can I tell you a little bit more about that?
Sure.
Well, a lot of times well, let me ask you this first. Are you going to be paying a buyer's agent if they bring a buyer?
Yeah, I think it's a typical 2.5 or something. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, I would love to show you how I could help you sell your home for top dollar without any additional expense to you, and show you how we can sell it quick and you won't have to deal with anybody coming to your home. How does that sound to you?
That sounds pretty impressive.
Yeah, I would love to be able to just show you exactly what I do to reach the most people. Would you like to make the top dollar even in this market?
You don't think I can do that on my own?
You know what? I have no doubt at all that you could sell your home. Could you sell it for top dollar? I don't know, but I do know that I could. I could help you sell your home without it costing you any additional money. And it will be in a wonderful way to bring more people. The more people we have seeing your home, the better chances we have of getting your multiple people putting in offers. And that's when you see a wonderful bump in your home value and price. Wouldn't that be exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Break script. Terry, I loved the fact that you said, I don't know what you could do it for, but I know that I can do it. I thought that that was a good line.
Oh, man.
And you also mirror and matched her pace. So you went from really excited, right? I mean, not that you weren't excited, but you like matched her from that first script. You could tell that it was like that was something you were thinking about.
Whew, good. Because I felt like I was blank inside.
Sometimes that does happen. Yes.
Oh, man.
No, you did great.
Thank you.
Perfect. Kevin, you ready? You're on mute.
I feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I get to hear what Terry said and then kind of play off some of that, and it's great. So nice job, Terry. Way to go! Way to go first.
All right.
let's
You know, Kevin, the market is so hot. I think that I can just sell this house on my own.
Oh, that's great. So you're thinking of listing it by yourself?
Yep.
Oh, okay, great. What's important to you about that?
I think that I can make more money and I don't have to spend on realtor fees, and it should go pretty quickly.
Okay, so it sounds to me like netting the most money is what's important to you. Is that right?
Yep.
Gotcha. And would it surprise you to know that homes that are sold by realtors net for 8% more money than for those that's for sale by owner?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it seems to make sense. Other than netting the most money, is there anything else any other reason why you would want to list your home yourself?
I guess not really. That's kind of the main concern.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? I totally can understand the desire to net the most money. In fact, that's one of the conversations that when I sit down and talk with someone about, it's oftentimes the most important thing. Have you done a market analysis of where your home's at right now?
I mean, I've kept an eye out for houses that have sold in my neighborhood, and I think I've got a pretty good idea of what mine would sell for.
Okay, and what is that number?
330.
Okay, $330,000. You're kind of looking at different spots. You know what? what I'd be willing to do is come out, Jelena, and sit down and do a market analysis of your home. And if your home sold for 330, what do you know what you would net from that?
330.
Oh, great. So you own your home free and clear.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, that's fantastic. That puts you in a great position. Let's do this. I mean, are you open to getting together and just looking at the market analysis and giving me the opportunity to show you what I think you could net for your home?
I'm certainly open to seeing what you think I should sell it for, or what I could net for it. I don't think I'm ready to sign anything because I'm pretty set on selling it
Completely
myself.
understandable, and I tell you what, I won't sign with anything without meeting the person first anyway, right? So let's do this. I can come out tomorrow at 4 or Monday at 2. What time's better for you?
Tomorrow works great.
Perfect. And what I'll do, Jelena, is I will take a look at your home when I first get there. But even before that, I'm going to do a market analysis and just see if we're kind of right on the right spot.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right. Wonderful. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, feedback?
Can I just clone Jelena?
Um,
That's awesome. That was really-
I probably would have started out the exact same as you. Like after, Terry went, I was just sort of thinking, well, what would I say? Sort of like Kevin just cheating, but I would have probably gone down the exact start you did. I probably would have varied a little bit, but yeah, nice job.
Perfect. Kevin, I thought you did great.
Oh, thanks, Jelena.
All right, Shane, are you ready?
Yeah, I suppose I'm gonna have to switch up my start, but go for it. I'll do
All
something different.
Shane, I just think it's a hot market. I'm not going to have any issues selling it myself. I think we'll just do that.
Awesome. Well, good for you. That's fantastic. You know what? You're probably right. You probably could sell it on your own, 100%. I guess I'm more. I want to find out. I guess where are you moving to?
We're gonna move down south.
Oh, you are? Okay. Do you have a spot picked out down there?
Kind of. We got some family, and my sister just moved down there, so she's kind of helping us, or her realtor is helping us.
Okay. So you guys are gonna buy down there?
Mhm.
Okay. And do you want to sell first and then buy, or are you moving down there, or how are you making the transition to Texas?
We've got some time. It would be nice to have it all finished and done before we left, but it's not the most important thing.
Okay. And when do you plan on putting it on the market?
This spring, when spring market.
Okay. And what's important to you about this spring?
I just think that that's a good time to sell, and there's a lot of buyers out there then.
Okay. Are you aware of what's going on sort of in the real estate market right now? I guess where do you pull your data from?
The internet. I mean,
Okay.
I've been listening to some people, but so it's just kind of, I guess, what I assumed happened.
Yeah. And what's important to you about selling it on your own?
We want to net the most money possible. And I think that paying fees for a real estate agent is unnecessary in today's market.
Sure. And Jelena, what do you do for work?
I'm a pharmaceutical rep.
A pharmaceutical rep. Wow. So do you travel all over and do cases, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Okay. So how many hours do you think you work a week?
50 to 60.
Okay. So are you going to have someone meet these buyers at the house to let you in? Are you going to have a lockbox, or what are your thoughts there?
Oh, that's a good point. I guess I didn't think of that yet.
Okay. And then when you get the offer in, are you going to hire an attorney to look it over? Do you have time to analyze it yourself?
I think that, yeah, we can figure out the contract ourselves when it comes in.
Okay. Have you bought and sold the home before? Obviously you bought. Have you sold the home before?
No, I guess not on our own. We've moved. I haven't sold one myself.
Okay. Well, Jelena, my job is to help people. And sometimes you get paid more money to do it. Sometimes you get paid less money. And quite often, sometimes you help people and you don't get paid at all. I think it makes sense for us to get together and at least talk through your situation, talk through the home selling process. And then at the end of that meeting, if you still want to try it on your own, good for you. I'm cheering you on. But if we come to an agreement in that meeting, says, you know what, I don't have, number one, the time to do this, the knowledge that goes into marketing the property. Anybody can have an offer show up at their house right now, 100%. If you want to put your home on the market and you're relatively close, you're going to get an offer. But that's only half of the battle. Half of the battle is getting it through inspection. Half of the battle is getting it to the proper title people, and half the battle is getting it to closing. The quick question I have, like, do you have errors and omissions insurance? Do you have somebody in your court who's watching your back?
I guess those are all things that I hadn't thought about either.
Okay. I just don't like to see people get taken advantage of, or maybe, in your mind, you want 350. If I can show you a way where you can net more, even by paying out a list side commission, I just think it makes sense for us to meet and at least talk about what your options are and go from there. How does tomorrow at noon look?
Tomorrow is fabulous.
Awesome. See you tomorrow.
Wow, that was pretty good, Shane.
Shane, what you do that I might need to do is you handle you go further on the phone than I think I am comfortable doing. I so quickly go to let's get together, and you go further and then go, let's get together.
Sure. Sometimes. Yeah.
Your concern for the client came across loud and clear, where they won't feel like, oh my gosh, he's just going to push me into blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
You really covered the base, and it wasn't like, oh, do you have, insurance? Do you have this? Do you have that? Like they're an idiot. You're kind of like going, hey, have you thought about this? And that's really effective.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Well, to be quite honest, if you come from a place of, okay, sure, anybody can sell their home on their own, but what are the pitfalls? If you come from a place of wanting to save these people from themselves, plus possibly get them more money even after paying you, it just comes out in the natural way you talk. There's no real script. It's just, hey, I want to help you. Have you thought about this? Like, who's going to help you with this? What are you going to do about that? At the end of the day, if they still decide they're going to sell on their own, they're going to decide they're going to sell it, and hopefully they don't. You can call them after it's been on the market for, a month and say, let's just meet anyway. So.
What I think is important about how you approach it is it doesn't sound salesy, right? Because your mindset is, I'm there to help you. If that doesn't seem like something you're interested in,
yeah,
cool. But if we can find a place of a win-win, fantastic. Right. So I think the way that you lead into that is so smooth of, I'm here for this, not like there's not a feeling of, oh my goodness, I need to set 5 appointments and I need to be able to get this listing because otherwise, life's going to end. It just is very, you are there as an advocate. And I'm guessing that's a mindset piece too, right? When you go into those scripts, how can I show value to this person and help them?
Yeah. And
you do it very naturally.
Well, and don't be attached to the outcome. I mean, just like you said, you're going in and you don't have the fear of loss in there. Yeah, you're going to try to close 5 times. You don't want to just give up. But if they don't want to sell with you, I care, but it's not going to make or break my day.
And I think to that point, Shane, is when you force a close with someone, that just keeps going in that relationship, right? Yeah. That becomes, if it was difficult at the beginning, it becomes difficult throughout the whole process. And what I like about that is when they've now agreed, because of the value you've shown, you've agreed together to get into that relationship. And now they trust you, and it's going to be a smoother communication along the road.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
Perfect. All right, we're gonna switch it up and I'm gonna start with Shane this time.
Oh.
Okay. So Shane, I hear what you're saying. You're telling me that my house is only worth 450. It's not. It's worth 500,000.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, don't we all wish we could get a lot more for our homes? I mean, it's a very natural thing. How long have you been there, Jelena?
10 years.
Okay, so you've got some good time in there. Have you guys made any improvements to the home?
We've made a few. We've maintained it. Done some painting.
Okay. And I guess this might be in person. No, this is over the phone, right? So you've done some painting. I guess, do you have any family, or is it just you, or do you have kids that live with you?
Oh, it's the family. Yep.
Okay. So you've got some good memories there.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess, what's important to you about 500,000?
Well, we know that that's what it's worth. Other houses around here are selling for that much, and we want to make sure that we're competing with everybody else.
Okay. And I haven't looked at the data yet. Or no, you did say that at the start, right? 450. I said it's worth 450. You said it's worth 500. Jelena, we have the same goal. At the end of the day, my goal is to get you the most amount of money possible. And absolutely, you're the boss in this situation. And if I have to list that at 500, to go along with what you're saying, more than happy to do it. I just want to keep realistic expectations when it comes to, okay, it doesn't sell instantly. Maybe we have to be patient. Maybe we have to reposition it on the market. At the end of the day, you're the boss. And I listen to you. I look at myself more as a consultant. I'm here to provide you with information, allow you to make a decision. Can it be a mistake overpricing? Yes, but the market will tell us what your home is worth, whether we underprice it or whether we overprice it. If we're underpriced, chances are in this market, you're going to get 5 or 6 buyers that show up, and it's going to bring it to market value with an offer over list price. Same thing if you overprice it. The market will tell us. We'll have showings, we'll have people come by, but no offers will show up. And 2-3 weeks goes by, still no offer. We might have to do a price reduction. And as long as you're okay with that, let's go ahead and list it at 500. If you want to try 550, let's do it. Just as long as you know that I'm going to monitor the feedback, I'm going to monitor the amount of activity, and if I have to call you with a price reduction, know that there's only one reason for that. It's price.
All right.
So let's put this on the market next week. We'll take some pictures. Let's try 550. We're going to go gung ho. We're going to do an open house. I'll wear a mask and a bodysuit. And we'll get this thing going. And hey, if 2 weeks goes by, and feedback is okay, let's be patient with it. Heck, who knows, right? If we sell for 550, you get more money and I get more money. Okay, I'm excited about that. But just know I do act quickly if we have to reduce.
Okay.
All right.
Feedback for Shane.
Yeah.
Shane is the bomb, by the way.
Yeah.
This is the right conversation 100%. Like if I went next, I would just say what Shane said. The thing that I think is very wise about it, and by the way, it's a script. The thing that's very wise about it is Shane got you on his side, right? You're now on the both sides of the table. I want you to make more money. Of course, if you make more money, I make more money. Let's go. The only thing I was surprised about is you went from 450 to 550, even more than Jelena said the 500. I thought, whoa.
I know I know in my experience, they're going to bring it back down to 5. Because mentally there, or what number? Yeah, you wanted 5 or 4? Did you say 4?
She wanted 5.
She wanted 5. Mentally, you're at 5, and you know in your head that 5 is a stretch. So when I say 550, they completely go, "Oh God, that's a little high."
It's like calling their bluff.
Sort of. and then they have a self-realization that, oh, shoot, so, but I've never had someone straight up say, I was sort of trying to be funny with that, but,
Mhm.
you know, I'm not scared to overlist property. Heck, in today's market, are the only things getting leads right now are overpriced listings.
Yeah, that's right.
I appreciate that, you sharing that, Shane. I feel like I've kind of been under the impression that you don't want an overlist property, and it's nice to hear somebody with
You
your
have to
experience.
have them make that choice is the biggest thing. Like I preempted our whole relationship in that conversation.
With the boss.
Like, because when a property doesn't sell, the seller immediately points to you. If you do that, and we do that with all of our listing, whether we're overpricing them or not, we say, hey, we're going to be monitoring the feedback. If it's, if we're having this many showings or this many showings, no offers, we're off by this much. I'm going to be calling you in 3 weeks. We're going to reduce the price. So as long as they come up with the price, they can't blame you. If you tell them the only reason it's not selling is because of the price beforehand.
Great. All right, Kevin, it's your turn.
Oh, we gotta do something different because
Okay.
that was the one.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Is that, would that script, I know what the market's like right now, would that script change a little bit in a different market, Shane?
The overpricing one.
Yeah.
A lot of it, and looking back on the conversation, I would have gone into their timing and
That was what hit me too.
yeah, and how quickly
Okay.
they wanted to sell. Because everybody's a little different. Also depends on price point of home. I mean, if you're at $1.5 million, that's a different story than the 300. There's all kinds of depends there. So I can't give you really an answer, but yeah, I mean, if it's a declining or a flat market, it's more critical to price it right on because you're not going to have as much instant feedback as you do in today's market. Like today, we put a listing on, right away, fairly quickly, if it's a normal home, where you're at. Are you, if 900 people show up, you're probably a little under. And if you only get 5 instead of 30 showings, you're probably a little bit high. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, in a flat market, you definitely need to price that better. How I would have scripted that. I still would have come up with the same result as far as I'm okay listing it here. Just know that it's on the stretch, and if it doesn't sell, we're still reducing it. You go into explaining sorry, you guys still have to go. But you go into the pitfalls of overpricing, how that can cost you money and time and headache. And but at the end of the day, the value is the value.
I think too, Shane, what you agree that 10% over market value right now is not, over guesstimating market value is not really a ton. But if your sellers are realistic and can agree to lower some price, in a market where it's switched and it becomes a buyer's market, you don't want to take a ton of listings if that buyer is just not going to adjust. They're not motivated to sell. They're unrealistic, because you don't want to spend $1,000 on $1,000 on a listing and know it's not going to move, right?
Always comes down to motivation first. Find the motivation. Why are you moving? Because if you're going to list it 50 high just to see if you can get it, and you don't really need to move, maybe you take that listing, probably not, but
maybe in the leads, because of the leads you'd get from it right now, if you're real honest of here's what I think it's going to sell for,
yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know you only went 50,000 higher. I had a listing appointment last week where they had done a lot of the work themselves, and they thought the house was worth $150,000 more than my highest end. And I had worked with a senior agent in the office on the comps, and they were just extremely angry, I would say, with the comps.
I start out by being extraordinarily complimentary of their remodel or whatever work they put into it. And, you know, just say, I understand you guys have a lot of love, and your house, from a quality perspective, might be, you know, twice what these homes are, but there's a cap on how much you can improve something. For example, if you paint a pen gold, I mean, a Bic pen gold, you're still only going to be able to sell it for a certain amount. You know, I'd go more down that value conversation on how much you appreciate the work they've done, but your neighborhood, whatever reason you came up with the comps you did,
Right.
you know, it has a cap. So you can only improve a house so much before you're priced out of, and you're losing money on the improvements. So
Okay, so you wouldn't take a listing at $150,000 over.
depends on their motivation.
Okay.
You know what I would also ask on that? When someone like overprices or thinks their house is overpriced by quite a bit, most likely, are they going to buy right now?
So they wanted to wait until spring and possibly move to Florida. So they wanted to like make a lot of money on the house so that they could make that move.
Okay, so I always ask them, and just be like really transparent, and you know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I have a question. So you want 850,000 for your house, is that correct? And they'll say yes, right? I'm curious, if you were in the market today to buy in this neighborhood, would you pay $850,000 for your house today?
Right.
And I'm guessing they're gonna say no, right?
Mhm.
What would you pay then for your house today if you were in the market? Because it's a self-discovery of when it's ours, it's really expensive. But then
Right.
when you're on the other side, you're like, well, that's not worth that, right?
Right.
And then you can also reference whatever comps they had to price it at that and
Mhm.
say, okay, so if you were going up against these three, which one would you buy for that amount? And I'm going to guess it's not going to be the house that they're living in.
Right.
That's a good one.
That was the other thing I was thinking of too. And I mean, and you said it too, Shane, deep diving into motivation again, because if they're kind of like, if it doesn't sell, we're just going to stay here. You don't got a client. I mean, because they're not motivated. But if they were to say, well, we're ready to move. We want to get out of here and we're ready to move in April and May. Okay, I can totally understand that. So if I want to do a deep dive for you and be able to see what's selling in your area and what's your current competition. Because I want to look at your house. I want you to take off your seller's hat and look at your home from a buyer's point of view, because really that's all that's going to matter. I would love to sell your home for $600,000. Truth of the matter is, I don't make the market. You don't make the market. Buyers make the market. So let's see out of their view what it's selling for.
What exactly, Maureen, what did they not like about the comps, or why were they offended at the comps?
So the house was an 1,874 square foot Rambler that they say they put 140,000 into, and they're right on Dutch Lake. And so based on that, they feel like the value was there. I had the comps ranging from 395 to 435 on the high end. And at the listing, they were saying it's worth at least 600,000.
Okay, so one thing I do on every one of my listing appointments, I explain how value is determined, and I'll write them out in front of the seller, and I'll say, okay, number one is location, so we're only going to use homes on this lake or lakes in the near vicinity, close to it.
Pause.
Yeah.
This is a script. When he writes these three down, this is a script. He goes to them all the time. We should know these things that he goes to.
Yeah.
So determining value.
And I might screw them up, but in general, I get the general list going. So number one, location, we want to compare apples to apples. Number two is statistics. So you've got beds, bathrooms, square footage, and how that's mixed into statistics is layout. because oftentimes a layout can affect how a square footage feels. The third thing we look at is fit and finish, and how, I guess what condition, how in tune are the styles with the home with what buyers want in today's market. And when you put all those three things together, what it does is it creates an emotion for a buyer. Buyers don't act on statistics on, okay, this adds up on paper. They act on emotion, and for the emotion to get to a certain value, all of those things have to come together. Now, if you're looking at, if you're an educated buyer and you're looking on the market and you're only looking at homes in this location, and you're coming across 1,500 square foot, 2,500 square foot, you're capped by the size of your home. And that's a big key to this. I can make a 1,000 square foot home with gold toilets and Carrara marble, but somebody's not going to pay me $2 million for it.
Right. I think they thought the fact that they were on the lake made up for all of that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another conversation, is determining what value that lake adds.
Right.
So.
Right. Right. No, I know. Yeah. I was in over my head. I'm very new and I was in over my head.
Sure.
Hey, Shane.
Yeah.
Jelena, can I get Shane to do one thing, just because I saw Ashley had a special request and we had like 5 minutes left? Can we do this one thing? Can I take over? Jelena?
She's muted.
Sorry. Yes. Yes, you may take over. It's all yours.
Perfect. Because I know Shane does this. Terry used to do it. I used to do it. So Shane, Ashley wants to know, how do you convert a buyer lead? So you get a buyer lead. What phone call are you making?
Ring, ring. Yeah. Ring, ring.
Okay. Jelena, it's you.
You're calling me then?
Yep. He's calling you.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Jelena. It's Shane Joseph here with Keller Williams Realty. I noticed you had left us a message. You had some interest in one of our properties.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking around.
Okay, and you were calling off the one on 12th Avenue in Plymouth. I guess, are you focusing on that location, or what other locations are you considering?
You know, we're open to different locations. We do like that area, but we're not in love with it.
Okay, cool. How long have you guys been looking?
You know, kind of off and on for 6 months or so, just kind of seeing what's out there.
Okay, very cool. And where do you guys live now?
We live over in Minnetonka.
Okay, are you guys renting or do you own a home?
We are renting.
Okay, cool. And do you have a time frame on that lease, or is it month to month?
You know, it's month to month right now.
Oh, fantastic. So you're in a really good spot. I know it's definitely a tough market out there. And to have the flexibility of a month to month lease is pretty good, and it sets you up for success here. So how far along are you guys in the process? Have you talked to a lender yet?
We haven't. Like I said, we're just kind of looking.
Yeah, well, fun. It's fun to look, and all of a sudden something will pop up and it'll get you so excited, and now all of a sudden you're scrambling. But I guess, have you purchased a home before, Jelena?
No. Nope.
Okay, so first step, and I do this with all of my first time home buyers, and it's so fun to me because buying your first home is such an experience, and to get to be a part of that is actually really cool. But the first step is getting together, really talking in detail about the house you want, about what some of the must-haves you want, what some of the locations are, and we try to match that up with budget and try to find out, okay, where are you most comfortable budget-wise? And we come up with a strategy to help you find that home and the location you want, the budget you want. The other big step of that process is really going through step by step the process of buying a home, all the way from talking to a lender. What does the inspection look like? What does a closing look like? And what do you need to watch out for? And what am I going to be protecting you through the way? So does that sound like it would make sense for us to get together, Jelena?
I definitely think that those are all important. I just don't know if I'm quite ready yet.
Okay. I guess as far as ready, define that for me. Are you guys saving up some money?
We're in the process. We just don't know exactly where we want to be.
Okay.
We haven't decided.
No, I totally understand. And it's a big step, and it's kind of scary too. At the same time, you're thinking, oh gosh, do I want to buy a home? And by us getting together, by no means does it say, hey, you're buying a home tomorrow. You know, sometimes, especially in today's market, it can take months, you know, not often years to find a home, but if you're looking for something very specific, yes. So I say we meet now, get together, talk through the home buying process, you know, and really dial in what you're looking for. And from there, whether you buy a house in 2 months, 9 months, you use me or you don't, let's just get together and chat about it.
That sounds good.
Awesome. Let's meet tomorrow at noon.
Perfect.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Nice.
Did that answer what
Nice.
was her names? Who is that? Ashley?
That was
Ashley.
Ashley, yeah.
Okay.
Nice job.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, it's 2:00 and I want to honor everyone's time. So unless anybody needs to hear one more thing, I think we'll go ahead and call this a wrap. And we'll look forward to doing it again sometime. We'll have some other scripting pros with us. And we have been discussing having some, at least a weekly power up where we can do some of this practicing and role playing together. And if that interests you, if you would let us know so we can let you know when we get that started, that'd be great. Shane, would you be willing to be part of that?
Yeah, I'm here every day between 8:30 and 8:45. If you'd like to come in, bring a coffee and a donut.
Awesome.
Perfect. I love it.
Actually, I fast in the mornings. So
Yeah.
no,
No,
but
And it might be via Zoom, Shane.
that's fine. I'm here every day, usually between those times. And yeah, if someone wants to work on some stuff. I mean, I know we've done that in the past in our old
Yeah.
office when we were there, and you know, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It sounds sort of weird that I enjoy this stuff, but no, I enjoy it. And if someone wants to hop on, great. I don't want to have it be where no one shows up and I'm there, and
Yes,
you know, so if
agreed.
someone wants to do it, then awesome.
All right. Well, if people reach out to me and let me know if we've got some interest, then we will make it happen. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Guys.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks for
Bye.
Shane.